Good morning, dear students. This video is about sentence functions. The last two videos we have talked about a sentence, what is a sentence in general, and the difference between a sentence and sentence fragment, and what about sentence parts. A sentence has two main parts, subject and predicate, and then we explained in details types of subject and types of predicates in a sentence. Today I'll focus on a sentence function. Any sentence has four different functions. The function, when you say any sentence, when you write any sentence, when you read any sentence, a sentence has many different functions. We can write a sentence or say a sentence to tell information. We can say a sentence, we can write a sentence, we can read a sentence that we use to ask for information. We can say a sentence to give orders. We can write a sentence to show strong feelings. So these are the four main functions, the four main jobs of a sentence. We have many different functions. The first one is called declarative. It's a telling sentence to tell us information, like Habiba got high marks. Number two, interrogative or question, to ask for information, like what did you do yesterday? It could be imperative to give orders, like open your books, or an exclamatory, like it is an amazing animal. And it's very, very important to know that, to put in your mind a declarative sentence, an interrogative sentence, an imperative sentence, or an exclamatory sentence could be a simple sentence, an independent clause, a main clause, because some of the students get confused and they think that an independent clause, it's always declarative, subject and predicate. No, an independent clause or main clause or a simple sentence could be a question, interrogative, could be imperative to give orders, could be an exclamatory sentence to show strong feelings. So please put this in your mind, because when you read a complex sentence is dependent clause or phrase, comma, and an independent clause. The independent clause could be declarative, interrogative, imperative, or an exclamatory. Let's start talking about each one in details. About sentence functions. The first one, it's called declarative. The first function is declarative or statement. Different names for the same structure. The first point, it is a telling sentence to tell information. Number two, it has a subject and predicate. Number three, the subject comes before the verb. You have to make sure that in declarative sentence, the order of subject and its verb, the subject always comes before the verb, to make sure or to check subject-verb agreement. Number four, it always ends with a full stop or period, like Sarah plays tennis. The subject is Sarah, its verb plays, so the subject comes before the verb, and it always ends with a full stop or period for a declarative sentence. Number two, an interrogative sentence or a question. It is an asking sentence to ask for information, but the order of the subject and its verb is completely different comparing with the declarative sentence. The subject comes after the verb in an interrogative sentence, like do you like English? Where is the subject? The subject is you, and its verb do. Do is a part of a verb phrase. It's do like, but we have to make sure the verb agree with the verb that comes before. So in interrogative sentence, the subject comes after the verb to make sure to check subject-verb agreement. Number three, there are two types of interrogative or question sentence. The first one, yes, no question. It is the question that starts with a helping verb and the answer is yes or no. Like, can you drive a car? The second type of interrogative sentence, it's WH question. It is the question that starts with a question word and the answer without yes or no. Like, where do you live? What about the ending marks of an interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence, it always ends with a question mark. So declarative sentence always ends with a full stop or period. Interrogative sentence always ends with a question mark. In declarative sentence, the subject comes before the verb, but in declarative interrogative sentence, the subject comes after the verb. Number 3, the third function, it's imperative sentence or command or order. It is a sentence that gives orders. It has no subject. In imperative sentence, it has no subject. Why? Because the subject is always hidden. It's always you. This is the only sentence function that has no subject. But we have to put in our mind that the subject of imperative sentence, it's always you. We use imperative sentence in writing a type of text called instruction. So we use imperative sentence to write a different text, a special text called instructions, to give the orders, to tell you the steps of doing something. Number 4, imperative sentence, it starts with a verb in infinitive without to, like stop talking. Stop talking, here the sentence has no subject, but we know that the subject is always hidden because I give the order, the instruction to the person who is standing in front of me. So you should stop talking. And it starts with infinitive without to. It starts with the verb stop. It's infinitive without to. And what about the ending marks of an imperative sentence? Sometimes we put full stop, sometimes we put an exclamation mark. So we can change an imperative sentence into negative by using don't or never. If I'd like to change imperative sentence or into negative, we write before the imperative sentence the word don't or never to change it into negative. And the last point about ending mark, an imperative sentence could end with a full stop, period, or an exclamation mark, depending on the way the order is given. For example, if I say, Habiba, stop talking. So here I give the order in a normal way. But if Habiba does not stop talking, if Habiba was keeping talking, and that made me angry, so how can I say the order in a different way, in a strong feeling? So I'll say, Habiba, stop talking. So here I give the order in a strong feeling. So I have to put at the end of the imperative sentence an exclamation mark. So do not tell me that we always put full stop or an exclamation mark at the end. No, sometimes we put full stop, sometimes we put an exclamation mark, depending on the way you give the order. The last sentence function, it's an exclamatory sentence or an exclamation. It is a sentence that shows strong feelings of pain, joy, sadness, etc. It sometimes starts with what or how. So please do not be in a hurry when I ask you about the function of the sentence. When you see what or how at the beginning of any sentence, you tell me that it is an interrogative sentence. It is a question. No, you have to read the sentence first to determine I'm asking for information or I'm showing strong feelings. If we use what or how at the beginning of a sentence to show strong feelings, so this sentence is an exclamatory. It is not an interrogative. It's not a question. It always ends with an exclamation mark. An exclamatory sentence or exclamation sentence, it always ends with an exclamation mark. For example, it is an amazing book. What amazing weather we had last week. How beautiful this city is. So we will find the last two examples. We use what or how at the beginning of the sentence to show strong feelings. Thank you for watching my video, and next time wait for new topics.